Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another journaling on a budget video. So I thought that this week we would do some more work in our book so that we can actually get the book completed instead of just making things for our book. So as we started out, this page for at this point in time, I've decided to just leave this the way that it is. And then we already have these pages done. The vote for the edging on the pocket was to put it on there, but it was very close. And someone suggested maybe to make it a little thinner because it was down to about here. So I did make it a little bit thinner so it's not all there, but it is there. So see, that kind of makes both sides happy. And then I also did have a suggestion that said that these ribbons do not go with this page, and part of the reason I chose them was because of this blue butterfly, which gets covered right up when you put it in there. So I agree, they do not go, and so we are going to take this off and we'll find something to put on those another time. We'll put some kind of a string or something on there, but those don't go, and it really was distracting from the page. So thank you very much for your opinion on that, because you were right. And I always love to hear everyone's opinions. I may not always agree with you. You may not always agree with me, but it's really nice to hear other people's opinions, because you never know that someone may not have just thought of something. So then we're going to go to the next page and see what we can do. Now, I have the journaling cards that we just made, and also I have some with the papers that we made, the eco dried papers. I took some of those and just put them on some of the leftover cardstock that I had from the cover. And so we have some of those that we can put in there. Not so sure really on this page, but I did want to show you those. And I made them the same way, except instead of putting the file folder on the back, I just put them on the eco-dried paper, rounded the corners. But I really loved the way that looked, and I wanted to check it out and see how that would work, and it works great. So, but let's look at our tags. Oh, and I also have one that I did. This is just a little bit of napkin stamping, and this is this is the mask that I made when we made our foam stamps, and I showed you how to make the mask. So I put one of those on there, and I actually stamped that on tissue paper, just white tissue paper, the kind that has the little like sparkly speckles in it. I don't know if you can see that, but they do kind of show up under the mask a little bit, and they still sparkle. So I stamped it on that, and then I just ripped around it and water glued it to the front of, again, file folder. And this was another one. This is one of the foam stamps that we made. And a little bit of napkin. Oh, no, this is our, what do you call it? Our faux rice paper. And then just a little piece of fabric that I had dyed. So there's a couple more tags to put in. But I thought that this tag would look good on this page here because of, the tea-dyed background, the orange in here. I thought about taking these out. I thought, I don't know if I like them or not, but I do because they're fun. Now, the one thing I don't like is, especially if I'm going to put this here, I don't like this blue and orange. I thought that would be cute to make the two colors because they have one color on each side. So what I'm going to do is, because they're the same on the other half, I'm going to turn it this way, and then I'm going to put it in like this. So then they're orange, goes with the tea-dyed paper. We are going to, I wondered, did I really want this in there? Because we were making a junk journal, so we put in a page out of a Reader's Digest book that had a pretty picture on it. And I thought, well, do I want to get rid of that? I don't. I love that picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this page with some tea-dyed paper or some kind of paper so that it can be written on. It'll make this more sturdy, and we'll get to keep our picture because that's just a really pretty picture and I like it. So I thought about flipping this one the other way around so that the picture would be on this side, but you can't do that because when you fold it the other way around, the picture goes out the other side. So we are going to cover this up, and we are going to now have this way, which these blues go with this color in here. So, you know, so that looks okay to me. And these are just fun. This is, I forget what it is, like what you say versus what you hear or something, a game. But, you know, like, and the thing is you have to have both sides of the cards because the answer to this one is on the other side. So this is aid, arrive, her license. And so you say it fast, a driver's license, a driver's license, and it turns out to be a driver's license. A driver's license is the answer to that. So they're just fun. And I think it's nice to have fun things in our book. So what we need to do, and I did choose some paper. This is just, again, the water dyed paper that I had some water, or I mean, I had a painty pad that I had to wash. I washed it in a pan and used that water to dye the paper. This was really towards the end, and I thought, I don't know if I'm going to like that because it's really kind of grungy, but I really like the way that it looks with the orange. I like the way that it looks with the tea dyed paper, and I like the way that it looks with our birds. So, because this has got orange and gray and a little bit of green, so I think this is the perfect paper for this spot in our book. And that's the thing. Sometimes you make paper and you think, I'll never use that. You may be surprised. So I'm going to decide, I want to make a tuck, and I want to make the tuck on this side, so that a tuck pocket, so that this will stick out. You know, now I could do a belly band, but a belly band would come right across the middle, and we'd really lose a lot of our birds. So if we do a side tuck pocket, then our birds will fit in there, and we'll still see most of our birds. I like this orange, and I want that to be there, and I want this gray there, but I want my top folded over so that, because this is just regular copy paper, I'm going to just make it heavy by just folding it over. So let me see, if I fold it there and I put it in, and my birds go in like that, that will work pretty good. So they won't be too far, but the pocket will be deep enough to really hold that card. I'm going to move it up, just make it just a touch shorter than that, but not very much. Because also you have to remember you have your glue line, so whatever you're tucking in never goes all the way to the bottom. I'm just going to line it up. There we go. Yes, and that's what my pocket's going to look like, and I like those colors a lot. So then I'm just going to take my scissors. I normally would take my cutter, but I didn't bring it with me, so. And actually, just to make sure, because I don't want to cut this edge at all, I'm going to kind of cut just under it, just a touch, just so that the back is not showing, because it's this fold that I want the most, so that as we're tucking things in and out of our pocket. But if I try and do this right on the edge, what's going to happen is I'm going to cut this piece of paper. It will no longer be straight. And it will disappoint me. Then I'll have to go get my trim, and I'll have to trim it off, and I'll trim off the little waviness that it has because it was water dyed. So there we go. Now you can't see that. It still gives us a nice sturdy pocket, and it really doesn't need to be glued much because we're going to glue it down, but I'm going to glue just a little bit along the ends, right in the fold, because that will even make the fold sturdier. You just want a nice fold so that when people are putting things in and out of a pocket, that the fold is nice and strong. I'm going to move our book for a second. Move those tags. And just give this a really good press. Take my ruler and go across it just to make sure that I don't have any like lumps in my glue. Don't have lumps in my glue, but sometimes where you put it in a line, it will leave a raised bump there. So there we go. This is what we want. I'm going to move that one for a second because it now has glue on it. And now I'm just going to go in. Wait a minute, before I do that, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to slide this out just a little bit. And I'm not going to go all the way down. Right there's my fold line. I'm not going to take my pocket right to that fold line. I'm going to leave my pocket up just probably about 1/4 of an inch, so that as it's folding in and out, because, you know, they can slide back and forth a little bit and move a little bit. I want to make sure that my pocket is not stuck in the center of my book. I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and I pulled my page out just a little bit so that when we're ready to glue it in, I'm ready for that. And I'm going to just glue the top, the bottom, and the edge that will be towards the center of the book. And the folded side is up here by my thumb. That is the side that we want to tuck our tag in and out of. So there we go. Okay. I want to come up just about 1/4 of an inch. Line it up on both ends and just give it a press. And I am using the Fabri-Tac glue just because it grabs and dries right away so that we can move on. But, you know, when you're doing your own journal, the Eileen's Tacky Glue works just as well. You can get the small bottle at the Dollar Tree for $1. And you can still continue and move on. You just put a piece of parchment in here. Don't put your tag in. And I'm not going to put my tag in right now anyways. I'm going to show you what it looks like, but we're not going to leave it in there because even this glue is not that dry. To where you want your tag sitting down in that pocket, it will get glued in. So there we go. Now see, these stick out a little bit because, you know, because they're hard. And so that way we're not covering up our pocket at all. And see what our birds are going to look like in there. They're going to go in right about that far, and I think that looks really nice. So, and then maybe when we get to this to do some stamping, we'll stamp some corners, you know, on here, and that would look nice, or a little bit of a background stamp. Maybe a word on here, but not too much, because I really love the looks of that paper, and it just looks really pretty. And it goes nicely with that. Okay, so we've got those. These are orange now, and they match nicely. So we're going to leave those just how they are. And then we're going to do something with this. Now I'm going to take this right out so that we can work on it. And it's this side that we want to work on. It's not folded very straight. I'm going to kind of... Did I fold it there on purpose? Let's see. I guess I did because that's the center of the tape. The other page, I trimmed this page down, now I remember. But it's got a little bit off, so I'm just going to kind of straighten it out before I start to work on it. Because if I work on it while it's crooked, it's definitely going to stay crooked. There we go. Okay, so again, we're going to leave this. This is further into our book. We're not going to worry about that one right now. We're going to cover this side. And so this is going to be in our book. It's going to be against this as a background, and these will be opened up to it. Our birds will be over here. So we have to decide what paper do we want to put on here that will look nice with what we have here. Even when the blue is opened up, the blue even looks nice with our birds because of the gray in the birds. And there's orange here and orange here, so that's kind of nice. So we have to decide what paper we want with this. And I am thinking possibly one of our eco-dyed papers. That really looks nice with this background paper. And down here, it looks good with the blue. I have a blue one, but I think blue would be too bright. Let's see what our blue Eco Dye papers look like. Ew. This is the one with the black on it that I don't like. Okay, that goes with the blue there. I can't do this, the black stuff, even though it does kind of go with the blackness on here. That's just too black. But the color-wise, are we gonna like it on there anyways? I think this looks much nicer. Now, I tend to do a little bit matchy-matchy, so, you know, I might be too close because, boy, these colors are close together. But I like it. So I think this is what we are going to use. And then I just have to decide. I think what we're going to do is I think that we'll rip the edges without a tear ruler because I don't have one with me. Oh, and I don't want to do it that way. Remember, whatever you pull towards you is the piece that will not have the extra white edge on it. So, I think I really should just go grab my tear ruler. It would be a whole lot faster. Okay, hold on just a second. I'll just grab it. It's not too far away. I lied about that because my tear ruler's not there, but I have my original tear ruler and we'll use that. Okay, so I really want this up here. So we're going to have that like that. I like the little bit of the book page showing through. Okay, but I want this straighter. It just has to be. I'll hold my just little piece of acrylic that we made into a tear ruler. Hold it down with the regular ruler. That's easier for me to handle. Alrighty, so let's see. This is going to be here. Yeah, that's good. Just going to come down about there. And then our final piece. Just off the tape. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so that's going to be on there like that. And then when you open it up, that'll be on the other side. I like that. I was wondering if we wanted to use that to put a pocket on there. We'll get this on and then we'll decide. That might be too close. It might be too close, like to just put the same color pocket on there. So let's get this on here. And I think that I want it, yeah, I definitely want it there because I want those leaves out there like that. I'm just gonna get some glue on here. Just use it nice and thin so it doesn't make too bulky of lines, but make sure that you get it everywhere. Center it on there. ruler. There we go. And we got a little bit of glue out here. And when you use, if you use this Fabri-Tac glue, when it gets off the edge like that, leave it alone. And I know I've told you this before. Leave it, let it dry, and then it will roll right off of there. Don't try and mess with it when it's wet, because I always mess it up. And I need to find my lid because this is spitting all over the place. All right, so that's the top of our picture. Let's put it back in our book and see what it looks like. And this is why I love the rubber band system, because you can just take your pages out, work on them, put them back in. Even when you're going to go somewhere, you could even take a few pages with you if you wanted to, if you don't want to take the whole book and you know what it is you want to do. So that looks okay next to the blue. Looks lovely next to the paper behind it. Love this page, which also goes really well with this page behind it, with the orange and dark colors on that pocket and with the tea dye. So that all looks really nice. I like that. And even though these are not necessarily, maybe what I will do with these, I think that I will ink the edges in brown. It'll tone them down, just ink them a little bit with brown. It'll tone them down a little bit, and I think that I'll like that a little bit better. But I really like the way that this whole part has come out. It needs some stamping. This really might just need some stamping, because that's a really great journaling spot. It's a perfect color to journal on, and I think that I just like it like it is. You can, if we put a pocket on here, we're going to cover up our leaf here. I like the looks of that, so I think we're going to leave it, because there's a lot of interest here. So I think we just need a little bit of stamping, and that area will be done. And probably I will do either one section at a time, or maybe the whole book at once, as far as the stamping goes. But I usually don't stamp. I kind of do my stamping all at once, because I don't know why. Just because it's easier. It's easier to get something out and use it a lot than to get it out and use it for like 2 stamps and then put it all away again. So there we go. That's what we did. I think it turned out great. Love the journaling card in there. I think that looks really nice. I like that we made these both orange so they go, and the blue on this side goes nicely with this side because there's blue in here. Everything ties together. And so I am happy with this section. I hope that you liked this tutorial. And, like I said, we're just putting it together, but at some point we have to put the book together. So, so next time we'll make something, and then the time after that we'll probably come back and figure out what we want to do. We've already got this done. This one may actually just need some stamping or maybe a saying on here. And this one, let me see what this looks like on the other side. That's just a plain book page, and although they're nice, we might be taking this one out because we don't necessarily need to have it there, but we'll see. We'll decide. We might want to put a tuck or something on it. We'll have to think about that. So I think that's what we'll probably do. Every other time, we will come back and work in the book, and then every other time we will make something that we'll eventually put in the book. Well, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate you stopping by. I hope that you like these pages that we did today. I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. And, it shows you the way that you can use the things that we're making. So thanks again. I really do appreciate you stopping by. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.